but it's also anybody who's not aware of what a graphic designer does. You show them the work that goes into it. It's not just I come up with some ideas and then ping, I've got a logo for you. It doesn't kind of work that way. So if you show me the stages. So this one might work a little slightly different because, as you should all know by now, because you're tuning in, Mark is a graphic designer. He has a company called Blue Deer, and they do graphic design. And so I'm probably going to do some of the more of the ideas. That doesn't mean that you can't come up with a few and then tell them if they come up with it. But also, I think you might have to ask some questions, which is probably something we have maybe missed in all the other episodes because we haven't had somebody on from those industries that could be like, but what about this or what about that? So you might have some questions. So it might work slightly different, but I think it'll be nice and it might set us up for a new series. Never know. So I did come up with a few ideas. I did have a think for Blue Deer. But first of all, I want to point out to some people, and if you can't plug, then I can plug for you. But when I was thinking about what you do on social media, it is really good. You're fit, you're consistent. You've got a few variations and stuff. So you already do reviews, which is obviously why you can always talk about reviews. But you like review logos and things like that, which is obviously quite specific to graphic design. It's good. You already have a podcast, Creative Waffle. Go check it out, especially episode number that I'm on, whatever one that is. But you already had a podcast, which is great, again, and you're quite active on social media. I would say for you, you've gone for the visual platform, which is Instagram, more than any other platform. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah,
so you've gone for basically Instagram, and you've gone for YouTube.
Yeah.
So one of my things would be is those are great, and you already got a good, strong foothold, and that doesn't need to change. But use some of the content potentially on your other platforms, on your spread. You've got a great foundation. And again, for any other graphic designers, Blue Deer has really kind of gone and built a good foundation on Instagram and YouTube. But obviously there is Facebook that people, LinkedIn is a big one for that. For anybody, any company, or anyone really want to go for a rebrand that has a company, obviously they're going to be looking at LinkedIn and getting recommendations. So spreading what you already have as a graphic designer. So I've got a couple of ideas for you. One of them being working with one of my bigger ones. I think I've got lots of little ones, but one of my bigger ones being working with influencers, but in collaboration. So find some medium-sized micro influencers. You don't want any. I don't think you want anyone massive. Although go for it, ask, but collaborate with them in making them a brand that you both work on. So my idea was basically like, why couldn't a graphic design company design someone a t-shirt, design someone a whatever, and work together to promo it? So you do all the design and all the prep and stuff, they wear it basically, and then they push followers to you, and also not just followers and growth and awareness, but they also follow, like, go buy our t-shirt, and you split the cost of the t-shirt or the merch, whatever the merch is. So you say they're wearing it, they've got following, or you maybe have 2 or 3 of them or whatever, and they say you can buy this t-shirt, head over to the link in the bio. They go to their own page or whatever, but the deal is that you've set up with them is a 50-50 profit share. So again, it's not a free thing, but your time is going to have to be free initially, but you potentially have. And if they grow, if they're an influencer, especially in the thing that you want to do, if they grow and take off and everyone wants to buy their t-shirt, you're the person that did that and got another passive stream of income anyway. Yeah. So as long as you can, and again, if you don't mind not doing 50-50, depending, and it might work on their following, right? If they've got 100,000 followers, you might go, well, we'll call it 15. I'll take 15%, you take the rest. That could still work in your favor massively. So sometimes the graphic design long game rather than the shorter term game, because especially when starting out trying to work with smaller businesses, sometimes, I know it sounds probably pants to say, but they don't understand what a logo and what brand can do, which is half of the problem. So they're not going to invest the money to invest in the designer to do that next step. So potentially, yeah, working with designers. We've mentioned this maybe before, but like breaking down your design into really small stages, a post at a time, whether that's video or whether that's a picture on Instagram. But it's always great. I've seen it. You've done it a couple of times. You coming up with all your ideas on one page, and then pretty much, not 100% because you normally do tweaks, but pretty much the rest of the logo designed on Illustrator on the other. Take me through the stages and make it up. Take it through like, okay, this Illustrator stage is just the outline. This is where I'm playing around with color. This is where I'm playing around, and show me all of the stages. So then it's not just because it's nice to see that from beginning to end, but it's also anybody who's not aware of what a graphic designer does, you show them the work that goes into it. It's not just, I come up with some ideas and then ping, I've got a logo for you. It doesn't kind of work that way. So if you show me the stages.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. And that's really works on social media as well. It works on Instagram particularly, but it works really well and gets a lot of engagement. So definitely.
And I think if you do the outline or loads of outlines, and then again, you've got engagement there to ask audiences what they like and what they don't, especially if you're not making something for a client. If you're just doing something because you love it or you're interested in it. I know you've done quite a lot of football stuff and all of that, but so break down the logo into loads of little stages so that we can see, or the brand into loads of different stages, so we can see how you went through your process. I think that's definitely a really good one. And again, you can, if it's somebody else, you can add a story to it or a poll on Twitter or a poll on Facebook and say, do you like the colours? Would you go yellow here or blue here? Or would you go this here or that here? And create that question, call to action. Try to get people to do it. And almost why you can go, this logo is going to take the entire shape of whatever people vote for. So you start off and go circle or square. And that day everybody votes on circle. Then you go...
Again, there's reasons for choosing those. That's what I have to explain in the post, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's reasons for choosing yellow or reasons for choosing blue.
Of course.
It's like royalty and
100%. You've got the little bit of the engagement there to do on your story, but you've also got the post to push them to go, if you want to find out why circle or square, watch this post, blah, blah, blah. So you break your content down smaller to do more with what you're doing already, because you're already doing some great stuff. So just, break it down some more. I quite liked this one that I had. I was thinking about this. It's like, rebrand, just for kind of fun projects, things you do in between, everyday items. So, and this is why I came up with it, because I thought it'd be really good to show people. So baked beans.
Yeah.
You've got Heinz baked beans, you've got Branston baked beans, you've got Tesco's, you've got whoever's, and you make up another sleeve of baked bean, finding the gap in the baked bean market as a brand. So you basically go, right, we've got Heinz that have gone for this look, we've got Branston that have gone for this look. I'm going to make a brand, made up brand, put it in there in the middle and get a tin and make it like that. And so people can see your brand on a shelf, pretend, or they can see your brand. You got an idea? Yeah, cool. But if you do every day, so then the other thing that made me think of you even more is the brand. Yeah, that's a great one. Cara said about basically time lapses, which is really cool. I've got that definitely. Which would be really cool is for Blue Deer, right? And this is not a criticism, so please don't take it like that. But obviously you do a lot of branding. We've talked about this before. You love to get stuff printed for Blue Deer, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But why don't you kind of make your own, like everything that you've got Blue Deer? So right now I can see you've got Adidas shoebox. Redesign a shoebox, instead of having Adidas, redesign a shoebox that's Blue Deer. And then redesign, so people can people can see your versatility as a designer. That you don't just make logos. You can redesign loads of other stuff. Like again, a baked bean jar is round. So how are you going to play with? And also then it shows that you can really start to break up how you would make a brand stand out from how it fits in its market as well. Differentiate it. And again, for me, someone who might want a logo, I want to go, well, I don't want the same type of logo as everyone else. I want you to help me differentiate myself. And you'll be doing that naturally with everyday items.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I think
I think
cereal boxes, anything like that. Yeah, any everyday items, because then you can do and you've talked about this before. Sorry, I know you want to say this, but just while I'm on this idea. You've talked about this before, but like then setting up a really nice area that you take the picture of exactly the same, always modeling your brand new baked beans or your cereal box or your new water bottle or your new whatever, with your version of what a water bottle might look like, your version of what, and always obviously created by Blue Deer. This is not a real product, but you never know, you might want to make it. Someone then might see it and go, hang on, that is an amazing idea for a new baked bean brand.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that'd be quite cool too. I think you could call it Cool Beans and just go really cheesy with it.
Cool Beans, yeah,
but make it really fun, make it really exciting.
And if you can play on that for so many different genres, if you basically walk through a supermarket and go, right, baked beans, I'll do one for them. That's a tin. So then you go and get yourself a blank tin. You then print something that looks pretty random and whatever, designed by Blue Deer, but it fits in a shelf. You almost take your own one, put it in there, take a picture, take it out, and that's content home, and talk to people of what you did differently to try and stand yours out against the shelf. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I've got again, this is you and your love for printing. And there's kind of two ideas. You like, obviously you've got Blue Deer in the banner in the background. That's my favourite, by the way, that Blue Deer. That has to, if you get an office, be basically blown up 10 times.
Yeah, I want to get a big
100%. But because of your love for printing, I think you should surprise and delight.
Surprise and delight. Go on. What's that about?
So you print like loads of lanyards. You've printed lanyards before and T-shirts before. Rocking the T-shirt, rocking the jumper. What else you printed? Come on, tell people what you've printed. Pens.
Pins, yeah, a lot of stickers, pencils. There's Christmas cards.
Okay, so my surprise and delight idea is design an outer packaging that is Blue Deer. So maybe it's a plain blue bold box, which actually would be pretty epic. I've just come up with that. I didn't know that, but and in it is something very unique that you've designed in particular for people or things you want to work with. So instead of printing like loads of Blue Deer jumpers, use that funding to fund like very specific things. So let's just say you really want to work with a particular business up the road. You get your Blue Deer box and you design them something. Maybe it is a pen, a brand new pen, or a brand new notepad that they could all use, or a brand new something that's specific to their business. You then send it to them and go, I really love your company. I've worked on this for you. I hope you like it. Let me know your thoughts, whatever, blah, 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 blah. One, you're then becoming known to other offices in the area or other businesses in the area because you're surprising. Everyone remembers a surprise and delight. If you got a package in through your door now and opened it and a company up the road had sent you something, you would remember it.
Yeah.
Then, so you not only would you remember it, you would then turn around and they might be interested in actually getting them. They're great. Can I just order 100 of those, please? You then obviously can start to use your costing to work that out, however much, 100 of whatever it is that you've done. Again, it's got to be bespoke to them. If nothing else, if you didn't get anything else from it, if no business came from it, the biggest potential you have is they will respond to you on social media, or they'll write you a letter or say thank you in some way. They would, if they were any decent business, they would do that anyway. And you can use that as content. So you're going to then be able to grow completely different markets. You're going to have a thank you letter from a finance business that you can post about and go and use all the other hashtags that you've never used on Instagram before, which is hashtag finance, hashtag blah, 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 and start to branch out into different areas of design.
You know, there's one that I really wanted to do, and I still really want to do it, is Christmas carols, like going around businesses with a carol group and just making them sing.
Amazing.
But I don't know. I need to find a Christmas carol group that will come around with me, and I have to pay them though.
And what are you gonna? And then brand the Christmas carol singers. Yeah,
I could get them all in blue hats.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Well, why not? It sounds great. So I think I think it would be really good, surprise and delight-wise, to do that. Even if it's like a one-off. I know you're into football. This is why I say it. You get a one-off football kit for a big local club. So a big local club to you. A one-off football kit that you design and go, potential 2020 kit, and send it to them.
Yeah.
They might do nothing, and they might be like, whatever. You could also brand it, Blue Deer at the background, #1 or whatever. I don't know, but send it to them.
That's not a bad idea,
They might never have thought about it, but then you might just be like, oh, we need a new idea for a kit. Let's go to the guy already provide us with an idea.
That's pretty decent, actually, because I've got contacts with Macron, and I'm getting that Blue Deer shirt made. I've got 4 of them coming in the post. And,
so great, but what? Okay, so and I don't. You've got a team, haven't you?
Well, sort of, but not blue. It's not. I know what you mean. Don't do a Blue Deer one. Do one for their team, specific. But I'll have to get. I don't know. If maybe they might work. It might help. I don't know.
Yeah.
Statistics out of how it actually costs.
Yeah, of course.
If not that, I really like it. I think that's a really, really good idea.
I think try to look at your last year and how much you spent on your own branding, and maybe try and just half it and go, that's my budget for what I can spend this year on other companies. And if that only works out as 5, it only works out as 5. And it is what it is. But as a designer and graphic designer, I'm telling you. And again, if you can bespoke it to their business and what you want to get into in particular, that's going to be the winner. If someone sent me something, Simply Create, I'll be like, wow. Thanks. Oh my God, I'll actually be blown away. Because obviously as well, I'm only a small company, so it's a bit like, well, teaser with just your logo.
I'm sure we have 6 Red Bulls before we do these.
Never. Only a cup of tea right now, and Harry Potter, by the way. Do a teaser with just your logo and let it go viral. Get people asking what's the Blue Deer. Then have a times reveal. That's a good one. Doing a mystery. Video of just finding a way of pushing the Blue Deer. Push the Blue Deer for ages. Don't say anything about it. Literally nothing. Push just the Blue Deer logo in different places, or with funny glasses on or something, or asking a question and leave it for ages and want to know what this is about, and build it over the course of the year, and then do when was Blue Deer born? What day of the year? Do you know the birthday?
Yeah, January the 1st, yeah.
There you go, January the 1st. Do a reveal, January the 1st, 2020, of what the reason behind the question mark and glasses on the Blue Deer was. I don't know, I just made that up. But yeah, I think that's where Cara's going. Do something that's serious.
I want to get more into that because I think it would be really good, but I think people might get lost. I just be pushing stuff, just random stuff that people, what should I do? What? I need some stuff, content ideas to get on that. Bit vague,
all right. Normally the way those things work is there's normally a message behind what you're revealing. So, yeah, it's like a campaign of, and I'm not going to say, but as an example, it might be like something. I don't know. It could be something like political. I don't want it to necessarily be that, but that's going to be what's going to raise people's questions. If you put the Blue Deer next to a political question or a question that relates to you and it's whatever, and don't answer the question, just push it out every single week, but don't answer it. Just say and then do a reveal of whatever that answer is. But because it's political is how it normally works, because people get interested in why does someone keep asking me this question? Do I keep seeing this Blue Deer with this question? Why do I keep seeing that? That's what the curiosity and the curiosity starts to come in, and then you do the reveal, but you kind of definitely have to make it worth its while as well. Do you know what I mean? The reveal needs to be on point, because you can't just be like, oh my God, that was going on for 12 months and he told me that he likes cupcakes. That was the worst reveal I ever seen. So yeah.
I need to talk more about that with you too.
Yeah, Cara said strategic. It needs to be really strategic. It does, yeah.
I need to think about how that could work.
It needs to be, it almost needs to be visionary. Like, what do you want to be saying about something that relates to Blue Deer? For example, okay, to tell you how it would work, it would be, and it's a disruptive thing, but if you were going to say something about graphic design as an industry, that's what might work. So you might write a comment is whatever, and then as an industry you reveal it. Now it could be controversial, so some people could like what you're going to do and say, and other people are not, but that's what's going to give you another like curiosity. Say okay, not political, but definitely industry related. If I was going to come out and say, right, content creators are this, or be wary of this or something, loads of content creators might agree with me, but what I might do is disrupt the industry in the fact that people might be like that guy, he's just ruined it. He's just come out and told people, it's what the masked magician did. He started to reveal secrets about magic that he should never have done. No magicians liked him, but I had to work with it because he'd already exposed the industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a secret, I suppose, but I have to think of some secrets that designers have.
And you shouldn't. I don't think you should necessarily force it. You got to find it. It might be a slow burner over a long amount of time. But if you have the idea, you can do a long tail campaign on it where it's something mysterious. And again, with these ideas, you haven't got to do them all, right? You just pick.
Yeah. I think that could work better for the podcast if you're doing like long form, continuously doing the waffle reviews, and that will gain more traction over time. I think that could be better.
I've put, you do video reviews already on like brands and what brand logos are doing and how they've changed and whatever. That's good. Design trends, like what I know there are design trends. I don't always know what they are, but gradients in and gradients out, and drop shadows in and drop shadows out, and why and whatever. So design trends. But the reason with design trends is I feel like sometimes they do come circle. So if you do a video on design trends, the likelihood is that it will potentially come back round at some point. Whereas when you're doing reviews of logos, it might not come back round.
Design trends they're all good, but sometimes they're a bit sort of bullshit.
But then that's the kind of stuff you need to say, because people want to know your honesty. Yeah, this is a design trend, but I just want you to know it's bull, because people like what they like, or gradients are never going anywhere, or whatever. You can say what the trend is and then put your spin on. Actually, that's the value. The value you're adding is not to just go with not to be the sheep and just follow. This is the design trend, so you should all be using drop shadow, blah, blah, blah. No, that's the design trend. And I'm saying, but don't worry about it. If you want to try it out, great. But otherwise, I'm really into this at the moment. Like, that's the added value. Because what also happens is design. If you're not in a design way of thinking or in that industry, you're going to chop and change all the time to try and hit a trend. And that's hard work. And that's great advice. What you just said was kind of bullshit. You don't have to do that. And for me, I'm like, oh, okay. So I can just keep using drop shadow. Yeah, of course you can. Oh, all right. Well, I will then. I don't want to look dated. Oh no, it won't look dated. It's fine. Do you see what I mean? The value you're adding is kind of saying, well, it's kind of bull, so don't worry about trends. But I want to know what the trend is, and then not to worry about it, or to worry about it. Yeah, it's really big at the minute. You should be doing this. This is a revolutionary way and it will stay this way for the next 5 years. So if you get learning this skill or asking for this on your branding, then it is something that you should always be considering for at least the next 5 years. Again, as a business, I'm future-proofing myself on your advice. So I'm going, right, let's start changing our designs because we're going to go this way for the next 5 years.
I like it. That's a good one.
Work with a print company. How are we doing for time? Okay, we're racing. Work with a print. You work already and get print done quite a lot. Set up some kind of, I don't know whether it's an element of your podcast or it's a business that you start to collab with that's a print company, but one to help you to reduce your costs potentially when you want stuff printed, but also showing people the process and getting a showing some other people the process of, once I've designed it goes to print, this is how I work with the printers. Because again, another thing that people don't realize is that once they've got the design and they ask you, can you get me those printed, what that then entails. Sometimes it's straightforward, but other times it might not be. You might have to tweaks and people on the edge, the edges, the 2 millimeters around the edge and the bleed and all that kind of stuff. So you need to, by having a a print company on your podcast, or a print company that you work with or have some lives with sometimes, so you can give added value. You're giving the designer value, but they're giving the further value of the printer. And if you can build that relationship, I'm assuming it will come beneficial to you, because you'll be able to lower your costs potentially, maybe as well, and also refer each other. So you become their add-on designer and they become your go-to printer. So starting to build relationships with printers. And if you can find a local printer to you to start building, that they'll push, because there'll be a time, right, that printers, I know printers tend to be designers as well. They have designers built in their companies. And there might be a time where they have too much work on and they need to get a freelancer in, and then you do your business model from that. So I think you need to work closer with business printing and branding companies to be a go-to. I mean, I've had it a couple of times already when I've talked about doing video. Is a couple of video companies have said to me, well, do you have spare time? Would you do other videos? Like, would you charge a day rate for us to shoot our videos? Which is great. I'm like, I'll do that if you want it. Like, so making those relationships. And again, if you can find someone, a print company, really local, really small, family run, whatever, you could be really a real good boost to their company. But in return, you could be getting surprise and delight prints for free or next to nothing. So you'll be growing your business. So I think print is a good. I love your podcast because I'm outside the design world. My only thing about your podcast for you is, I would say, that what industry do you want to be in? Like, okay, this one's kind of for other graphic designers. If you want to start a podcast, think about who you want to do for or what you love. What you love and who you want to be helping, and do a podcast around that area, so people in that area listen to you as a designer. So if you really want to help cafes, you do a podcast around cafes, so other people that own cafes or go to cafes listen to you, and you're the designer of cafes. Whereas at the minute, you're the designer talking to all the designers, and no designer is going to give you work. Well, in theory, they're not. That rub off is never going to pay off, and that doesn't mean that the podcast isn't great. It is really great. I'm just saying, for a business and getting referrals and growing and trying to grow in social media wise, you're growing in the graphic design world, but graphic designers are never going to say to you, well, not never. I'm sure there's some lovely graphic designers out there that will, but it's unlikely, because they already designed, that they're going to go, here you go, Mark, here's my design work that I don't want or I can't do or whatever. I don't know. I know you asked for it actually the other day on your stories, right? I thought that was really great. I genuinely think you should do that more. Even if you get a response or not, you're showing that you're willing to work with other designers. And I think that collaboration is a massive trait that I don't think you see that often. Other designers like their own style, have found their own way, and are not willing to necessarily branch out. And you're saying, if you've got design work, I'll help you out.
That's
I
good.
think that's great.
What a place to end. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Ray. That was amazing.
No worries. I'm just going to go through comments, because Cara's just be 1 second. The T's are the viral, just in case.
I'm going to end it there. But we're to jump over to Ray's. Sure. We're to jump over to Ray's Instagram Live. We're going to do one for video creators, and I'm a bit worried now after all that. But
don't need to be worried.
Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll check you soon.
See you later, everyone. Take it easy. Thanks.